Honestly, PayPal can go themselves. Oh, hey. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you why PayPal is a bogus company and why PayPal needs to fix their shit. Otherwise, their company is going to be ruined. They're ruining business owners like me, anybody in the dropshipping or e-commerce space like me. So in today's video, I'll be explaining what exactly happened with PayPal in my business and why going forward, I do believe that PayPal is going to be a bogus company and you should avoid at all costs if possible, but it's a lot harder to avoid than you may think. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. On this channel, we talk about personal finance and investing, and I share with you my personal experience in my business ventures that I go on to. So in today's video, it's going to be about PayPal. Although what exactly happened with PayPal in my business may hugely different from you and your experience using PayPal. Take this and everything as a grain of salt, because your experience may hugely differ from what I experienced. But now that this thing has happened to me, I'm officially part of something called PayPal jail. What I believe in a bunch of other people is that we believe PayPal is a bogus company and we should completely avoid PayPal if possible. So before we jump into it, I do want to mention first, why do even buyers like PayPal? How did PayPal even get this popular, and why do shoppers use PayPal online? Well, to answer this without going into too much history or too much detail in why PayPal is often used, is because buyers love using PayPal because they have purchase protection. This is simply the reason why buyers continuously use PayPal. They trust PayPal as buyers because they get this purchase protection. If something goes wrong, if the item doesn't get delivered, they could dispute the transaction with PayPal instead of going through their card issuer, and sometimes the card issuer has lackluster customer support, or the customer support is completely invalid in general. So this is why they use PayPal. They can rely on PayPal because of the great customer support for buyers. Now, this makes buyers believe that PayPal is way more secure than your typical just using a normal credit card and disputing the transaction on the card issuer versus using another credit card and using PayPal. Well, the truth is PayPal is not any more secure than your card issuer. PayPal is just a payment gateway that a lot of retailers and online businesses accept because it's convenient for buyers. Now, what exactly happened to me also applies to buyers and how my situation is going to go moving forward. So what exactly happened for me to make this video about PayPal and why I think PayPal is a bogus and completely trash and utter trash business is because they permanently limited my account. Now, you probably heard of other stories about people, their PayPal business getting limited and all their money is locked up. But my case is completely different than all those videos. Now, all those videos, they're mainly using PayPal as a payment provider to receive money. Now, what I use PayPal for is to make purchases on eBay and occasionally receive money. Now, I do receive money on PayPal, and this was exactly what happened when my account got first limited. Now, before we talk about the limitation, I do want to say this PayPal account is a business PayPal account under my LLC. Everything is legit. All the information is up to date. All the addresses is up to date. I have a bunch of banks and credit cards attached to the PayPal account, and now they're all frozen. I can't remove all of them or use them onto a new PayPal. So my business doesn't indirectly use PayPal to receive money. I use PayPal to buy products to drop ship onto Facebook Marketplace from eBay. Now, I don't use eBay as my only supplier, thank God, but eBay does make a good amount of revenue and a ton of the sales that happen on Facebook Marketplace. eBay is a great supplier, and recently, last year in 2020, they moved away from using PayPal as a partner or as a payment provider. Some sellers have the option to use Google Pay and or their credit card, but eBay has a limitation on just using a credit card. And eBay, even though they announced that they're moving away from PayPal, is still strongly linked with PayPal. They still have buyers receiving payments on PayPal. That's one thing, but they also limit how many times you can use a credit card just naked through eBay purchasing. I believe they limit you up to 5 times. You only use one card 5 times before the card completely just stops working. You can't make any purchases. And that is very, very strange, and something like Amazon would never do that. So this is hugely a fault on eBay, because I can use the same business card on Amazon, make 20, 30, 40 purchases all in a row, no problem. Amazon, if they sense it's a fraud, I get a text, I say yes, it is me, and it's over. But on eBay, 5 times per card, and I get basically shut down, and I'm unable to use the card, and I have to go through PayPal to use that card. And when I was using PayPal, it worked great. I can use that same card 20, 30 times, just with that extra step of using PayPal and the linked debit card or credit card to pay on eBay. Now, some buyers do have Google Pay, like I mentioned, but it's not all buyers. Some buyers have it, some buyers don't, and it's still a bit confusing. It's not as streamlined as Amazon. This is why eBay is so far behind, because they're not keeping up with Amazon. Amazon has all these Amazon Reload where you can add a balance and it will keep track of the balance. Amazon just has way less issues, great customer support compared to eBay, and this is why eBay is where it's at today. And eBay could be at where Amazon is if they basically just copied what Amazon just did, except added better customer support and made the site actually work without using PayPal. And this is why Amazon doesn't use PayPal, because PayPal just runs into way too many issues. And that's just another valid point of why the biggest e-commerce website in the world, Amazon.com or Amazon.co.uk, is the biggest. It does not even use PayPal, and that just goes with saying how bogus PayPal is. All right, now back on track. How did I get limited? So this account was limited at least 3 times. Just using it to pay on eBay. Probably the first time, just ask for basic information, maybe like name, your business name, and something else, maybe driver's license. Second time, same things, very similar. And then the third time, it asked for proof of delivery, which I added a tracking number. It added for a supplier, a proof that you have a supplier, and proof that the order was being shipped. So all of these 3 they asked for, I provided them within minutes of the account limitation going live. Then one day passed by. I contacted PayPal via the online website and their support on they have a little messenger type of thing where you can message support. And this is what basically I typed in. It's not exactly word for word, but it is that, hi, PayPal is a very important tool in my business, and I need to use PayPal to process orders, something along the lines of that. And if you could, as soon as possible, check up on the case and remove my account limitations, it would be greatly appreciated for my business, as I solely rely on PayPal. Something along those lines. Basically, I typed that in chat. Well, when I sent that, basically a few hours later, my account, I actually received an email that said some of your account limitations have been removed, which was good, right? But when I click sign in, my account was permanently limited, and that just makes absolutely no sense. Prior to how my account got limited, I did a sale on Facebook Marketplace where a buyer wanted to buy more than one quantity, and the listing, just the buy now button just didn't work. And just a hiccup with Facebook Marketplace, and they wanted to pay. I said, you want me to send you an invoice via PayPal? They say, I don't have PayPal. I was like, okay, but you can still pay. So I sent the invoice over. They just used a normal credit card or debit card. They paid. The account went into the balance that they paid went into pending, and then that's what happened. How I got into a limitation. Now I did do some prior research on this and why PayPal is doing this. They do PayPal slash Stripe. Stripe is owned by PayPal. The companies don't like the business model dropshipping. It's considered high risk because you're never holding inventory, and there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of returns, which is partly true. Dropshipping can be high risk, but in my opinion, it's quite low risk compared to holding inventory like something like Amazon FBA, because you already purchased the products and you're relying on the customers to buy them. Otherwise, you're going to have a bunch of this inventory. Dropshipping is actually way less risk compared to something like buying inventory upfront, wholesaling, or something like that. So I'm not sure where they get that. Dropshipping is high risk, but it does usually end up in high returns. Probably like past 2017, when the dropshipping business model was getting a little bit more popular, there was a lot of returns, unhappy customers, and this is probably why PayPal and Stripe implemented some sort of algorithm to track that. If you're using PayPal slash Stripe for dropshipping purposes, you're gonna get shut down either way. Even if you have a business account, I had a business account. I had a personal account before. All of them got limited, permanently limited, and they hold your money for 180 days. I mean, it's not the end of the world because you do get your money back. 180 days does suck, but at least you do get your money back. Because if you didn't, that would be completely awful. We got heard of other people having literally 50,000 plus locked up into PayPal for 180 days, which is basically half a year, which is absolutely insane. And with that money sitting there, you really can't do anything besides refund buyers, and maybe receive money. Maybe, I'm not sure. But either ways, you really can't do anything when your PayPal is limited. So if you're ever in the same situation, why PayPal is a bogus company, do not use them if you can. If you don't run a dropshipping business, it is acceptable, but I still don't prefer use PayPal if possible. Obviously, not a lot of people, maybe buyers don't have this issue as often as running a business, but I still heard of plenty of buyers having their account limited. Just normal day-to-day buyers that rely on PayPal to process their money, and when their money is in hold, their livelihood, their bills, their payments that they need to make is locked into PayPal. It's just a nightmare, and if you can, avoid PayPal at all costs. So for those of you that are still watching and are in the same situation, if you're using eBay as a supplier for your dropshipping business, or just using a supplier that doesn't accept anything else besides PayPal, here's a solution. One, try and use gift cards if possible. It's not ideal, I know, but it is what you have to do, using gift cards. Or if you use eBay as a supplier, you can sign up for the eBay MasterCard. I will do a review on this card. I actually just recently got approved for this card, which is quite nice. But that's another option. And then the third option is to open another PayPal account. Now that sounds hilarious because I just finished my rant about PayPal, but sometimes the supplier just they only accept PayPal. So what can you do? You just need to use the platform until maybe one of these, in the past 10 plus years, PayPal will fix their garbage algorithm, and maybe things can be back to normal again. So if you found any value in this video and you're using PayPal right now, I'm not saying that to completely delete PayPal and switch right now, but just be on the lookout, because PayPal, anything can happen, especially if you're running a business. Even more important to stay away from PayPal. Heard a lot of horror stories, and if you want to know where I'm reading this, just do a quick Google search. There's tons on Reddit and forums all over Google. There are PayPal nightmare stories, and a lot of them are quite serious. And before, you could actually sue PayPal into a class action lawsuit, but they stopped doing them, I believe, in like 2011 or so. So that doesn't happen anymore. You can do a private lawsuit, but you're gonna pay thousands of charges. Who knows if it's actually worth it. So if you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like on this video. It massively helps out with the channel and the YouTube algorithm, of course. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.